to break their spine and reclaim what once was mine. Those cravens backstabbed me, deceived me. Never shall I tolerate their crimes again. Now let the hunt begin.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to the final top 8 for our monthly tournament here at Aegis. My name is Dragon, and I am here joined by my co-host, General Schwartz. How you doing today, Schwartz?
Most excellent, my dude. Coming off of the Ascension. Dragon and I, as you may know, are on an Ascension League team together, and we've made the jump. So next time, maybe we won't be casting, we'll be playing.
Yeah, I'm excited for that happening next week. But for now, we got our monthly tournament here ahead of us. And after a few rounds of Swiss, we've managed to craft our top 8 today. We got some exciting matchups today. And I'm excited to see how these players are going to be competing in our top 8 and see what kind of crazy stuff they brewed up. Because the important thing about today is that rotation will be happening at some point this week with the new patch, which means this is the last time we will have this standard set of cards. So it's a one last hurrah for this format. Let's see if these players can do it justice with their crazy decks that they're going to be bringing. All right, so why don't we take a look at the bracket, Schwartz? What do you say?
Sounds like a plan.
Yep, so here in round 1, we've got ABG Kaizen versus Lava Matt. Then we have AJ DePro versus Torutaka. Then the bottom half, we have RoboMaster 18 versus Ace Bombastico. And then finally, we have Vendor T versus GZ Never Walk Alone. So plenty of familiar faces and plenty of good players up here. You know, we also got the Giga Snail Ace moving from the caster desk into the top 8. So let's see if he can put up the same success he puts up on broadcast in the series he plays today.
The Giga Snail never disappoints.
Of course. Yep. But hey, speaking of Ace Giga Snail, we're going to take a look at, we're going to be watching his match in round 1. So why don't we take a look at the decks that Rollmaster and Ace brought this week. So we will start with Ace's deck. So first off, we have Udyr Morgana with a J4. And we've got a few interesting cards here, I have to say, looking at these lists, considering we have the Buried in Ice, which is not usual for this kind of thing, but hey, you need a way to break up the Udyr mirror. That's a pretty good way to pull out ahead.
Absolutely. I also like the inclusion of the J4 here. Being able to drag away a blocker, so unfortunately the Morgana Udyr doesn't have a lot of evasion built in, so sometimes you have a huge unit that just keeps on getting chumped, so having the ability to drag a blocker out of the way can be huge. I also like the inclusion of the Concerted Strike here, having a one-sided strike for your Udyr, having a little bit more interaction can be very helpful.
Yeah, I will say one thing I did notice is that it's only 2 Blade-bound Berserkers in this list instead of the standard 3. So that means it's a little bit less consistent hitting that. It's one of the most important cards in the deck after Udyr, so you can really level him faster, use Magical Fettering to really slow down your opponent's interaction. And then also the other thing about J4 is because we have the Bjerg, sometimes we can draw the J4 instead when we really need to get that Udyr in play.
Yeah, that is a kind of a downfall of this deck build, but we'll have to see how it works out for him if it gets left up.
Yeah, but we can go on to his second deck here, which is, I'm assuming it's some kind of Overwhelm pile, and it is. We got LeBlanc Sejuani Overwhelms.
Okay.
We're going face here because face is the place, and we got a lot of big dudes with Overwhelm that we're trying to make bigger in order to kill our opponents real fast.
We're playing the classic combo of Bird Dog. I've heard that Bird Dog is good.
Bird Dog is very good.
Like you said, lots of big overwhelm beaters here to put the pain on the opponent. Got a couple Battle Furies for that surprise over the top. Interesting that Ace is elected for only 3 champions total in this deck.
Yeah. I mean, I will say, Sejuani can come down pretty late, and LeBlanc doesn't have Overwhelm herself, and because Ace is not adopting to run Might, it means that she can't really get Overwhelm in this list. But she can also just a really big unit that kind of forces blocks, so you can force some unfavorable trades early on.
Yeah.
Plus, we also got a few interesting techs with like the 3 Sisters and the Arachnoid Sentry, which, I mean, it's not a card you see often, but when it hits really hard.
Yeah, I really like this in this meta because it's a flexible card. It either can convert into, more offense, developing basically a 2 like unit advantage for you, or on defense if they're trying to set up and swing that big overwhelm Blade Berserker or Udyr, you say, nah, next turn.
Yeah, especially because this is a deck that isn't known to have actual interaction most of the time outside of Whirling Death. So it might be able to catch people off guard and get Ace victory here. But let's take a look at his final deck here, which is going to be Zoe Draven. So now we're seeing why that Draven wasn't in that Overwhelm deck. And what do you think of this one, Schwartz?
I mean, it's old Targon Overwhelm, just kind of a blast from the past. I think it's very creative way of being able to dip into Noxus twice, kind of spreading that power out. I think it's interesting that there aren't a lot of discard outlets for the deck. Really just the 1 Reborn Grenadier and the 3 copies of Vision. So if Ace doesn't find this Zoe or a way to generate extra cards, I think that discard targets could be a little bit difficult, but maybe the deck doesn't really care.
Yeah, I mean, you got the Draven's Axes as well, which I assume is going to be a lot of that discard fodder we're going to be seeing, but I mean, this deck looks like it can be pretty explosive, and with the triple fervor, it has a bit of reach at the end as well. Also, gotta love the One of Divine Judgment tech, just to beat a Vengeance or something like that, and pump up the board.
I feel like cards like this and like that Buried in Ice are almost more so like a threat of existence than a card that you're actually going to play most of the time. Just one more thing that your opponent has to play around and can still be useful.
Yeah, exactly. Like, your opponent has to keep it in the back of their mind, and that one time they don't respect it, that one time they, go for the removal spell, they get hard punished, and it can completely flip the game. So let's see what Ace is going to be up against here with Robomaster's lineup. And here we see Akshan Varus first. Pretty standard list I would say here, with like the idea is that you have Akshan Varus, you get a lot of targets with all the things from like Swinging Glaive to the spells that you get from like Momentous Choice, Shapestone, Absolver, so it's pretty difficult to kill the units. And you just want to like get a big Varus and OTK your opponent, and then like you pair it with Absolver on Akshan, you can just murder your opponent really quickly. Got a few keeper the boxes to heal up. We got some ways to remove landmarks and stuff thanks to our explorers. And then we also have Unforgiving Cold as well, which would be huge in this meta with big units like Udyr.
Yeah, I mean, the Cultist spells have always been very good. The one thing that is a little bit more difficult now is without the Weapon Masters, you are really reliant on finding that Swinging Glaive, or you're going to have to accept losing some value on your early Cultist spells to find your Varus.
Yeah, Furious Wielder is a really, really bad card when it just says, take up 1 space in my hand and do nothing. Yeah. All right, let's go on to the next list here. We've got LeBlanc Sejuani also adopting for only 3 champions, but we've got some other cards a little different here. Like, we are adopting that 1 Might, and we're playing more Battle Furies.
There's 1 less Bone Club as well.
And no Sentry, so, obviously, like, you can see here is very similar decks, like, same premise, same champion ratios, a lot of the same units, but can play out a little bit differently and have different things you need to consider when playing. So
yeah, with no Noxian Fervors, this deck just doesn't have the same reach as Ace's list does. So opting for more upfront, I'm just going to punch you in the face.
Yeah, but that also the one might means you can't always just say I'm going to block this block with my 1/1 and be okay, because then you might get blown out by that. So we'll have to see how that works out. And we got one more deck to go here for Robomaster. I'm assuming it's also going to be an Udyr Morgana, and it is. But this one's playing a lot less tech cards, I would say. We are playing the one of Darkened Spear that has popped up a few lists, but I don't think Ace was playing it. We also have all 3 Berserkers here. More Bjergs to find our Udyr, or units that got massive from dogs and Omen Hawks. But I think this looks pretty standard. We'll have to see how it's going to fare into Ace's version if they gets left up.
I will say, I think that one copy of the Bladebound Berserker might make the difference in the matchup. Being able to find that early and get a magical fettering onto your opponent can really slow down their game plan.
Yeah, exactly.
But I guess we'll have to see.
Yep. But we're going to go into the matchup here. What do you think is going to be the ban for each side? Let's start with Ace. What do you think Ace is taking out of here, Schwartz?
Honestly, I think that the ban for Ace, you may just have to ban Udyr Morgana. The units get so big so quickly that it can be difficult for your overwhelmed units to get through. They do have the opportunity to brick, but once they get a big Bladebound Berserker down, you just aren't ever getting through again.
That's true. And then for Robomaster, I would have to imagine Robomaster probably doesn't. I was probably thinking a similar thing with the Udyr Morgana, but I think because with his overwhelmed deck having a difficult time against it. Although Akshan Varus probably doesn't do too bad into it thanks to the triple freeze spells.
Yeah, and also just Varus being able to get big enough to just punch through once, and you can also, if you double draw Varus, you can apply that vulnerable or get a challenger from Glaive. And then you just choose who, the smallest unit they got and punch them for 20.
Yeah, or even just pull all the blockers out of the way for your Varus to get through. But either way, we'll have to see with the heed our advice, or they have different ideas for how they want to play out these matchups. We should be getting to see the bans soon, and then we'll be able to get into the games. I'm excited to see what we got here. Ace is bringing that spice that he's known for. And we do see that Schwartz and I are both right with the Udyr Morganas being put out in the cold, leaving us with the Overwhelm mirror for each side, then Zoe Draven and Akshan Varus.
I will say, looking at these, I think I'm going to give the edge just from deck selection to Robomaster.
Yes, I have to imagine it'll be very helpful. Although we see the turn 1 Zoe here.
They always have it.
And he also has his one of discard fodder here with the Reborn Grenadier. All right, does Ace say he doesn't have it? He's going to say there's no Shapestone in hand, and he is going to be correct.
Sometimes you just have to risk it to get the biscuit. And never mind, no biscuit for Ace.
Nope. Well, I mean, he has a very powerful open attack opportunity next turn. Ooh, and the Vision 2.
Oof.
So it's going to be a pretty big attack next turn for Ace. But the question is, what can Robomaster do to stop it?
We do see the Furious Wielder in the hand of Robomaster, so that open swing, there's not a way to protect the Draven. Although, unless he's willing to take a lot of damage, Robomaster is probably going to take quite a bit of damage here.
Yeah, Robomaster can answer any one of these cards, but he, as of right now, with his hand set up the way it is, he only has one card to answer here.
Now, I'll be curious to see what Ace elects to do with this discard, how he decides to develop.
Yes. Because he's got the Vision, he's got the Reborn Grenadier. He also just drew another Battlecaster, so he can get wide. That's really helpful. He's going to opt to play the Celestial card to get a freeze to make the Scary Stamp free. Question is, do you want to go for Dog to draw more, go wider? Do you want to go for Moon Silver to try and go even wider here by making Draven's biggest fan free?
Maybe, I just don't know if I have the aggro brain, but I love card draw, and it looks like Ace agrees. You gotta love card draw.
Mm-hmm. Well, we see the second Battlecaster come down here, and now Ace has an opportunity to either go for the Reborn Grenadier for a 6-wide attack, or discard the Vision to pump them up even more. And I think if I'm Ace here, I want the 6-wide attack.
Yeah, you get the extra 2. You're getting an extra 5 points of damage, 6 points of damage with that axe. Like,
but instead he's going to opt for the Vision play here.
And with no mana up for Ace here, now, yeah, an Akshan having that extra point of health is huge. So Ace can put the axe down. Let's see, go to 6. Yeah, there's no way for Ace to kill this Akshan with the axe and the Vision.
Yeah, there's also unfortunately no way for Ace to kill Robomaster either.
Yeah.
And he seems to be saying, all right, have the Shape Stone or momentous choice here, save your Akshan or he dies.
Yeah, I still think that the extra... So notice, if Reborn Grenadier had come down, that extra 5 points of damage, it could have mattered.
Yeah, although I will say, Ace still gets 3 extra points of damage here, so it's not the end of the world.
And he does have Draw Doggo to refill. I think one of the bigger problems is that there's going to be some easy removal for Robomaster on the next turn with Grappling Hook.
Yes. The other thing is that there is going to be the Lifesteal unit come well. So that should help Robomaster hopefully up a little bit. And this landmark is kind of close to flipping as well.
Oh, and more removal in the hand.
Huge. But we see the Zoe though. That can stun the Akshan if Ace wants to. Heck, it can even threaten the Akshan as well. And we can see in our hand right now this would stop it. But instead, Ace is going to opt to stop the lifesteal.
Interesting. And unfortunately, with the Grappling Hook in hand, this lifesteal unit could still trade. Oof.
Yeah, Ace is just going to kill it outright.
Yeah,
also,
I mean, I think if you're Ace, the only way that you cannot win if that lifesteal unit sticks around.
Yep. I will say though, the Akshan here, I'm thinking we're going to see the Grappling Hook. Oh, but you know what? We can finish the Horde, and then we can get the lifesteal unit back.
That is very funny.
Yeah. Is that what Robomaster is going to elect to do here?
I mean, I think that lifesteal unit is critical.
See that, or you could try to draw 2. He's going to get it back. Yeah.
Yes.
He's going to get it back here.
And saving the Glaive proc to be able to maybe give it a little bit more power.
Yep.
Or just keeping it or Spell Shield. Just to...
Yeah, Spell Shield, make sure you can't get like Arachnoid Sentry or anything like that. Oh, Spacey Sketcher is a really good draw with his Grenadier in hand. Because now we get to get that out. Oh, and we get the Serpent too.
What a
Ace
draw.
is going to be 6 wide here. And Rollmaster has cards to interact with this, but he only has 1 card here. And because this is Challenger unit, he gets to drag to the side.
Let's see. So he needs to be able to, opting for the freeze.
I think he's still dead. I think he gets exact lethals here.
Wow.
Ace pulls out the win here in game 1.
You know, that paddle star, like, I think that was a really great play on the lifesteal unit, just knowing that you can't let it hit.
Yeah. Also,
Out.
it meant that he couldn't grappling hook with lifesteal unit as well. So like that 2 HP he would have been able to gain would have been absolutely crucial there. But now Ace has got to win Overwhelms against Akshan, Varus, or the other Overwhelms deck. I will say the Overwhelms deck might struggle because it can't go as wide as the Draven Zoe deck could as early. Like, I don't see Overwhelms going 6 wide on turn 4 at open attack.
No. Yeah, and one of the things, one of the benefits of the other Akshan deck, Akshan Lee, is having Eye of the Dragon to be able to not only lifesteal, but consistently going wider and having more blockers.
Yes, for sure.
Pretty good hand for Ace here starting out.
Yep, but Rollmaster finds his 1 drop as well, so he's not going to be taking 3 to the dome on turn 1.
Okay, Ace offering the trade.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like if you don't attack here, it's just not going to get much better for you.
No, the only thing I could see is maybe playing on second attack token, having the Iron Pot to keep it alive. But
but we see the Akshan, but then we're going to see the dog to say no to the Akshan attack here.
He said, get that out of here. And this is going to be a big old dog swing.
It is. We do see the Shape Stone. Rollmaster's not going to... Rollmaster's not going to play anything here. Opting instead to just develop the Varus here.
Wanting to get the extra value from the Varus. Okay.
Yep.
And then having the Furious Wielder in hand, too. I'd be curious to see if Robomaster even swings here. Maybe waiting to save the Shapestone for the next turn. He could swing Varus, and then no matter what happens, he can still kill the Razor Mace.
Yep. Actually, it wouldn't be... Sky Splitter. Sky Splitter would beat it still. So I think that might be why he hesitated.
Yeah.
But I mean, Ace is going to go get 3 Overwhelm units here. But instead, now Rollmaster gets triple strike spells here. This here.
Yeah,
we could see a fervor here onto Akshan as well to get rid of that.
Mm-hmm.
And that would also ruin the ability to play Furious Wielder too. But we're not going to see it.
I think we're going to see a Bone Club.
But it's either Bone Club or the 5/5, one of those two. Bone Club would make his 4/2 unkillable here with Rollmaster's in hand.
Yeah.
We're going to see. However, he's going to 4 in hand, so it's only going to get 1 hit in before it dies.
Oh, yep. And there's the equipment destruction. And the Varus grows.
Yep.
I can see the Akshan flip next turn if Robomaster elects to play the Akshan 3-drop, whose name escapes me. Vakarn Vagabond. I wanted to say Vakarn Safecracker, but that is the
that's the 4-drop that one plays.
the forgotten one that gives -2.
Yep.
Ooh, another big stick.
Club. And this Varus can't really kill it, especially not through this Elixir of Iron.
Yeah, that's
we see a second armed acquisitioner. Just huge. We cannot play the equipment destruction this turn. However, we can next turn. So it kind of forces Ace to open if he wants to get the thing, which means he won't be able to play his big 5/5 Overwhelm unit to go with this.
Yeah, I mean, and I think if you're a Robomaster, you're just taking all of this to the dome.
Oh. Ace is going to elect to not, or Robomaster is going to elect to not swing with Varus here.
Interesting. I guess just, I guess the game plan here from Ace blocking this way is to reduce the health of the enemy units so that no matter who goes in front, he's doing the most damage possible.
Yeah, also this now sets up Roadmaster to kill this, he can now kill this 9-5 on open.
Could he have... right.
He wouldn't have had enough power. Oh, but we see a 3 sisters here. That could be huge because that gets rid of the ability for Varus to kill it. And with this fervor in hand, that would be enough. Yeah, Roadmaster doesn't have a freeze here. Oh, but Roadmaster's just going to take it.
Crazy.
And that means he would die to fervor. And he has no way to stop it right now. He has no way to stop it.
What happens if, let's see, so there's 8 mana. Fury of the North is 4 mana?
Yep. Yes, it is.
So he could play Fury of the North and still have enough up for Pot or Fervor in response to anything Robomaster plays. There's just a lot that can be done here.
Like, Ace could go for Fury of the North right now, but I have to imagine if I'm him, he's like, all right, he has something planned, but no, he's just going to say, I think he's just going for it.
Let's go. I love an aggro gamer. He says, you cannot kill my unit.
He's like, you would have double freezed if you had the ability to. And because you didn't double freeze, I'm just going to say you can't do anything. And he's right. So Ace gets the clean 2-0 here. So.
Goodness, Ace just doing aggro gaming things, going 6 wide and then going 6 tall.
Yeah.
Just, he's a Bone Club Gamers Unite. Rico, the spirit of Rico Rex.
Yeah. And Ace got all the damage he could in as quickly as possible, and it was enough both games. Like, I think both games he had lethal by like turn 6 both times. So
yeah,
I mean with that, we're like barely like 10-15 minutes in, and it's already a 2-0 for Ace. That's the power of aggro.
Yeah. He just...
So yeah, congratulations to Ace. He's showing up while he's on the caster desk because he knows what he's talking about all the time. As he is going to be in our top 4. So congratulations to Ace. I'll get to see him later on. Hope maybe if he makes it all the way to the finals, because the next round we're going to be going to the other side of the bracket. So if we go back to the bracket now, we can see what other teams are going to be. People be playing against, and we already have all the matches decided. Wow, all 2-0s. That's
aggro gamers. Just,
I mean, some of them might be aggro gamers, not all of them, but so Kaizen beat Lava, Torutaka beat AJ the Pro, Ace beat Robomaster, and then Vendorti beat Never Walk Alone. So we're gonna have ABG Kaizen versus Torutaka and Ace Bombastico versus Vendorti. So we will be watching ABG Kaizen versus Torutaka for the next round. And I'm excited to see what these guys brought. And, congratulations to them for making it all the way to top 4. But I'm excited to see what kind of decks they brought and see if they're just as aggressive as Ace or if they're taking things back a step.
Maybe those were just the fastest control games ever.
Yeah, someone got Victor and then it's like rolled like elusive deathless and some other combination of keywords and killed them like turn 6.
Just the classic elusive spell shield.
Yeah, elusive spell shield overwhelmed.
Yeah, can't block my guy, can't touch my guy, hands off.
And then even if you could block my guy, he's still getting through.
Yeah. Unfortunately, my Victor always just rolls impact.
I mean, hey, I won a game because the Victor rolled impact yesterday because I gave him that one last damage I needed to win.
Hey, already.
Yeah. But yeah, we're excited to see what we got in store, but we're going to be going back to see our beautiful faces here. As we're going to be going to a quick break between the rounds, and then we will be back with some more Legends of Runeterra games. I'm excited to see this top 4. Yeah.
Yeah. So
Welcome back, everyone. It's me, Dragon, with my co-host Schwartz. We just watched Ace. We just watched Ace beat Robomaster 2-0 with some pretty aggro lineups like Zoe Draven and LeBlanc Sejuani Overwhelms. So now we get to go check in on the other side of the bracket with our next match. So why don't we pull the brackets here first? Just get a reminder of what just happened last round with ABG Kaizen going up against Horutaka on the top half of the bracket, and the bottom half we got Ace Bombastico versus Vendorti. What are your thoughts, Schwartz?
I think that we're going to see some great games, and I'm excited to see what decks they've brought.
Exactly. We didn't get to see what Kaizen and Horutaka had last round, but now we get to go in and dive in and investigate what they were bringing to the table and what helped them get to this far in the tourney and then get over their opponents last round as well. We'll take a look at those in a moment. But yeah, do you have any last thoughts you want to talk about for our last set of games with between Ace and Rollmaster? Because Ace has got to draw his one-ofs,
Absolutely. The deck, the heart of the cards. I know that people say often that, aggro decks are too simple, linear, like easy to play. I think that Ace's games there are a really good showing of knowing the lines that you have to take and the value judgments that you have to make to be able to win. Because those were very close games, and the few impactful decisions that you do have are really meaningful.
Yeah, exactly. He didn't discard. He went for the Vision line on turn 3 with the Zoe Draven game instead of the Legion Grenadier. That meant he had the extra unit to go even wider on his next attack, and that was enough to get him exact lethal through the freeze.
Yeah, absolutely.
And then that last game, going for the Fury of the North Three Sisters, saying you don't have the double freeze.
Oh, I think that game at that point was just cooked no matter what, but getting both bone clubs made a huge difference.
Yeah.
Blow up one.
But have you considered second bone club? That's the real question. But speaking of things to consider, I think it's time to go into the decks and consider what these players have brought. We're going to go with Kaizen first. It's going to be a familiar face. It's Akshan Vers. We just saw this deck before. Didn't have the best of times last round, so we'll have to see if it can put up a better showing this time around.
Looking at the list, it looks fairly similar to what we saw previously. There is a one-of Quicksand in this list.
Yes, that could be pretty key, especially if we see things like Overwhelms on like Udyr or even the Overwhelms deck itself. So we'll have to see if that's going to come in handy. And yeah, we'll have to see if we're going to be able to draw the cards we need. Next up, we have LeBlanc Sejuani Overwhelms again. We do have one of Buried in Ice here. That's a card you don't really ever see in this deck, but it's spicy.
It is spicy. I do think that it is a chance to be a big old brick, but if you need it to break through that Udyr, that wall of Udyr, maybe that's the answer. But I could also see, in an aggressive deck like this, having multiple high-cost cards really making it difficult to curve out.
Yeah, like having triple Battle Fury, triple Ancient Yeti, Buried in Ice. Like if you get a bunch of those cards in your early opening hand after a mulligan, it can be hard to play what you need to on curve to get an aggressive enough opening in order to push that damage later.
Mm-hmm.
Well, it's been working for him so far. So something, hey, Buried in Ice could be the way to go. But we got one more deck to look at. It's Bilgewater PNZ. I'm expecting it's going to be John Anila. Let's see if I'm right. Oh, I am.
Looking at the list, looks like ABG Kaizen has elected to run the one of Ruined Rex and a one of Temple.
Yes, this is not nearly as aggressive as some of the decks that are out there. Like some of them run triple Eager Dedicant. This one's not opting for any of them, so this one doesn't have as many explosive draws for putting as many one drops and other things into play as quickly, but we make up for that by having more top-end cards to draw. Like, getting a Temple down with this deck is just insanity, especially if Gianna in play. You just level her up so quickly. You never run out of cards. You get so much card advantage. Your Neela auto flips. We are opting for quite a few removal spells. We got the Gotchas, we got the Howling Gales, the Whirlwind, the Mystic Shots. So a lot of burn options here, a lot of refill options, but we opt for a little bit less explosive potential, I'd say, like going out down the 1-drops.
Yeah, I tend to prefer the more aggressive lists personally, especially with the number of explorers that are around. Temple always just feels like a liability, but if you're able to stick it, it is just an unbeatable value engine.
Yeah, I mean, also, like, with only one Temple, it can be really hard to, like, if you play an Explorer on curve, do you really want to get the blow up a landmark when there's one in the deck? Or do you want to get, like, healing or disabled keywords to actually survive? So you can kind of make that decision a little awkward if it comes down at the right time. But enough of Kaizen's lineup. Let's see what we're going to be up against here. So Torotaka has got Fearsome's Splashing Pail.
Interesting. So interesting to me that Pale is what Torotaka's gone here. Obviously, good spell. You know, maybe thinking like it puts Nocturne and some of these key units above Mystic Shot. And some of the easier like removal answers for them. Also looks like going for a little bit heavier top end, packing a couple copies of Vengeance, the usual harrowing top end. A little bit of an interesting take on the deck.
Yeah. I mean, still can be quite explosive if you put the right series of units together, but we'll have to see how that's going to work out for Torotaka in this set here. Next up, we got Bandle Freljord. We got
probably a
something.
Sejuani Nora.
Sejuani Nora is the correct answer. Though this one's got. So we're going. So some things to notice here is that we're going for double eclectic collection. So this deck can win the game by just putting a bunch of units in play, and then you just play that to put a bunch of puff caps and stuff in their deck and make your deck a little bit better with all the portals and chimes. But the downside is it can be a bit slow to get going. So this deck is looking to grind and play a much longer game, I would say.
I mean,
it also has. Go ahead.
You want answers to Udyr? Mini-morph. Yeah, that. Bye-bye Udyr. Disappears.
Yeah, I mean, this deck looks very well positioned into Udyr. You have double Three Sisters, you have a Wallop, you have triple Mini-morph, you have triple Buried in Ice. So you are prepared to make Udyr miserable, but there's no Udyr on the other side, as far if I remember correctly. So I don't think it's going to matter in this case. But
yeah.
I'll have to see if that's going to be too slow against the Overwhelms and John and Ela's that we're up against here.
Yeah, I think those Burieds are going to be a huge liability.
Yeah, it takes so long for that to get going. So we'll have to see if he can find the time to get those down, or if he's going to get aggroed out. But it's going to make it this far, so hopefully Torotaka can find something to go with it. And we have one final deck here with Ionia PNZ. Is it the Heimer Victor of Legends that we've been told? It is.
Of course. Ooh, and a Temple here too.
Ooh, there's some interesting choices here with this list, I have to say. We're not playing any ballistic bots at all. Instead, opting for Pharaoh's Financier as our 2-drop, valuing the 6-cost spell can generate, and as a 2/1 blocker, which can be relevant sometimes on turn 2. Also, actually playing a copy of Thermo Beam, not always seen in these lists, but yeah, I think this is an interesting list. A bit of a different take, I'd say, than most of the traditional Victor Heimer lists I've seen, with a few of these tech cards and tech choices. And
there's Temple, a lot of removal.
Yeah, I mean, I'd say it's like a standard amount of removal for what you expect from these lists. But you got Sunken Temple for refill potentially. You've got Memory's Cloak as an way to drop your Heimer on turn 3 and protect it from something like Soul Harvest or Vengeance as an additional protection tool. Standard triple Flash of Brilliance, because playing Heimer, then playing triple Flash of Brilliance and making your opponent cry as you drop 3/3/1s is pretty good. But yeah, I'm excited, interested to see how this choice turns out and see if the lack of bot ends up being a liability or if Feros Financier found us the perfect card we need. All right, so we're gonna all go here to the matchup screen, and what do you think are gonna be the bans for each side? Let's start with Kaizen. Schwartz, what do you think Kaizen's banning from Torotaka's side?
Honestly, I think it's going to be the Heimer Victor. The deck can still, do just absurd things. Even, in a favored matchup for you, they drop Heimer and they make 13 turrets, and then you cry.
Yeah, I would say Heimer Victor is definitely the biggest strength of that deck is it has a lot of unpredictability built into it because you don't know what keywords Victor's going to roll. You don't know what you're going to get from Flash of Brilliance to play around. So
yeah, there's a lot of value just in playing the spell, and then the information, disparity. As far as I could also see a ban maybe on the Fearsomes if you don't think that you can keep up. But I think that ABG Kaizen is decently well positioned into that deck.
I would say so. And on Torotaka's side, I would have to imagine John Anila is a deck you really don't want to be playing against here.
Yeah, it's just too fast. Random BS go. Okay.
Oh, but we're going to see the ban of Nora Sedge, and we're going to see the John Anila ban. I can see Nora Sedge being the ban because, if you're Akshan Varus and you see triple mini morph on the other side, that can be a bit intimidating because you don't have time to, if you don't spell shield preemptively, then you're not going to get through there. And then you don't have some denies for buried, but not all the time. But we're going to get into the game right now. We're going to see Heimer Victor versus Akshan Varus. We're going to see which side's going to come on top. We see the Portal Pioneer already in Torotaka's hand, so could either try to remove this weapon that we see in hand from Kaizen or even the landmark, depending on which route we go for. Oh, but we also see the Unworthy Souls another way. If that actually gets to go off here, that kills that, that'll reset the unit and kill the weapon. And Torotaka is going to go for the weapon removal, not going for the landmark.
Yeah, this is a very pretty rough hand, I think, for ABG Kaizen. Now it's getting rolling, and there's not a lot of pressure on the other side. But losing this glaive, losing this glaive is going to be really painful.
Yeah, we're going to see Torotaka did pick the destroyer thing here. That's going to come in real handy here. And yeah, Kaizen can drop a Varus next turn, but he won't be able to protect it, so he has to worry about double removal spell on it, potentially. And Torotaka is super happy to just do nothing and pass than drop Heimer, I would say.
Oh, absolutely. The landmark, ABG Kaizen can advance this landmark pretty quickly if they so choose.
Yeah, Double Vicar and Vagabond is going to get this landmark finished quite quickly, I would say. Unless Torotaka decides he wants to go for the Unworthy Soul on it. Opts to keep the blockers around. It doesn't want to lose them just yet.
I think this is kind of an awkward spot for ABG Kaizen. Just oh, and that Heimer's going to come down. That Memory's Cloak in hand.
Yeah, so he's he knows that this Heimer is perfectly safe to come down this turn. Because, if they have the Furious Wielder, we just play Memory's Cloak and that just completely eats the turn. And Kaizen is going to choose to bank here, but now he doesn't have a way to flip this landmark.
Oh, this is going to be a nasty turn.
Oh, yeah, double.
Oh, and into the Flash of Brilliance.
Yeah. Oh. I mean, honestly, Torotaka might just kill Kaizen here.
I mean, it's
maybe not from full, but it's going to be pretty close.
Mm-hmm. Now
maybe goes for it. But it's not going to opt to go for the formula into that line. Although, I will say, I don't think I see any reason not to play Flash here.
Yeah, play Flash.
Actually, you
play
know what?
Formula.
He might want to save the Flash to play the other unit first, so he gets the +1/+1 buff from Heimer when he gets leveled here.
Yeah, burning a Formula is tough,
Yeah.
but
This sucks, but hey, you did just flip his Heimer. And we're gonna go for the
units.
We're gonna go for the movement here, and then now we're gonna see this. I mean, we're gonna see Flash of Brilliance into Memory's Cloak, and I don't know what's gonna happen here. Oh, we're not even gonna see the Flash of Brilliance. We're just gonna.
It may have burned the units with the spell created by Flash of Brilliance. So sequencing a little bit differently. Another Furious Wielder, but I think it's a little bit too late.
Yeah, we do get the
no, going for the Auction, needing the. Yeah, I think the only way ABG Kaizen can hope to win this is to, punch through.
Hey, found a way to win.
Oh, there it is.
Oh, I found a way to not die next turn. So that's a good start. But I mean, Turataka has so many answers right now with double Unworthy Soul and Aftershock for this landmark.
I mean, and honestly, Turataka can just throw Pharaoh's Financiers right under the bus and say, okay, next.
Like, hey, I needed the board space. Thanks for the help.
Yeah. I will say, Turataka's hand is a little awkward right now as far as just the amount of space in their hand. Just opting to just swing for lethal. Say, can you do something about it?
Goes for the open here. So now it's a bit awkward for Turataka because Kaizen can try to flip this Varus pre-attack next turn. So I'm going to guess we might see some removal options going on to things now.
Interesting.
I don't know why we've held on to this Flash of Brilliance for so long.
Yeah, I think I would have preferred the development on this turn, because if ABG Kaizen would have made that one more turret, the game's over right now.
Yep, and we're gonna see here. We're gonna go for the Auction spell here, and now we have to decide: we want to deny this, we want to sleep this, or let it through. We're gonna go for the sleep on Auction here. But we don't have a way to blow up the landmark when it's done. So Auction's going to come out, and the landmark's going to go to 1 and flip next.
It's going to advance landmark, and this is going to give Spell Shield.
Yes. We do have answers to Spell Shields, but
it's a lot more costly this way.
Yeah. And if there's we do not see the draw of the I was going to say, if there was a deny drawn, it would be huge for Kaizen. Unfortunately, he doesn't find it here. But on the bright side, should be able to remove most of these elusive units and Heimer, if we really want to.
Yeah, I think I have to go for the Spell Shield. And I would imagine putting vulnerable... Okay, eliminating the... elusive units. Surprised it isn't going for ABG Kaizen isn't going to remove the Heimer. Maybe just saying like, hey, I gotta kill you right now or I'm dead.
Yep. So I think that's what we're gonna see here. We're gonna do this so he doesn't have to commit the Absolver right away onto Auction. Maybe like if the Heimer blocks a 3/2 or 3 power unit, you can Yeah, so Heimer does not do that, so Absolver can't just do one half of the Absolver in front of Heimer to kill it and then one half in the other thing. So yeah, gonna have to commit here.
It is going all spells.
Yeah, I mean it'll take 2 spells here, but Turataka has the 2 spells for one of these units. I'm assuming it's probably gonna be the Varus getting recalled here.
Yeah, that would make sense. And honestly, with the backswing on the next open, ABG Kaizen is pretty assuredly dead.
Not guaranteed. If we get another unforgiving hold, that would freeze the two big elusives. Although I guess the problem now is that Kaizen also lost all of his board. Yeah.
Yeah.
I guess because Kaizen is trading his entire board away for that attack, it's kind of not good for him. So that makes sense. So yeah. So Toritaka is gonna take game one. Now he's got a 2-0 with. Now he's got to win one game with Fearsons, while Kaizen's got to 2-0 it in order to win.
Yeah. So obviously Kaizen has made it this far with the combo Varus Akshan deck, but I personally have preferred the Lee Sin version so much more, just for the increased interaction and decreasing the number of awkward hands you can have. Because we've seen it aggro down, we've seen it stalled out. It's just seems like it's meant to beat mid range, but there's just so much more in the meta right now.
Yeah. Also, I think the deck isn't showing up to its full potential on stream in front of us. So it's like, obviously, it's gotten a top 4. It can definitely win games. It can definitely do well. And it's just saying, what if we just didn't do that right now? I think that'd be really cool. And that's what.
Now, Kaizen here doing what good gamers do and playing bird into dog with token on 2.
And he didn't draw his buffed up unit on turn 1, so it's going to get +2/+2 now.
This is just gotta love it. Just nice, clean bird dog gaming.
And he gets to keep his dog too. Toritaka is saying, I need to get the damage in order to win. And now we get a 6/5 overwhelm. And that just completely shuts down any development. Like, yeah, he plays this, and then there's a 6/5. Good luck at swinging, buddy.
Why is it so big? It's such a big ballista.
Yeah, bird dog.
I mean,
Toritaka doesn't get to attack here now.
Now we get a 4/5
dog. Oh, now we get an even bigger dog. This is not looking good for the Fearsons deck, I have to say.
I mean, sometimes you just get big. I mean, I would swing with both dogs.
Yeah. I mean, I guess the reason we're not swinging with the other dog is because we can't, we can't kill anything if we do. We don't want to give them a free trade. Yeah. And they block with a 3/3, it's not worth it. We get the Sky Splitter here.
Yeah.
Yep.
That's probably better.
Yes, it's probably better. It would have been funnier, I agree, but yes. Yeah, because of that, our Ancient Yeti's only a 6/6 instead of a 7/7. What a bad play. I agree.
Unacceptable.
Yeah. I'll be honest, Toritaka might be a little bit cooked here.
I think that a little bit is underselling it. Just looking at the hand, there is the Vengeance, but this is a tall ask.
Yeah, I mean, and there gets to be there's a 6/6 Yeti. It can come down next turn, and you get a Sky Splitter as well. I will say this Skitter is probably one of the better draws you can get here.
It's going to get a lot of value.
Yeah, especially because you have double fading in hand. You can go for the line with that. Instead, he's going to opt to go for the make this a 4/2. Well, yeah, we're just going to full swing here, and we still are holding up Vengeance. I think that's why we went to copy the Mistwraiths. So I think we might just be Vengeancing the 6/6 here.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, is he going to opt to try and keep his big Fearsome alive? He's not. Okay. Yeah, I can see the Vengeance there. We could see either Sky Splitter or Draven Spell. I assume I
would imagine Sky Splitter.
Yeah, I would say Sky Splitter here. Yeah, also, we didn't draw a unit, so our next unit's getting +3/+3 off the top, so that could be pretty bad.
I mean, and honestly, like, just looking at this, like, ABG Kaizen's at 20 health. I don't really see, like, a way forward for Kaizen. Although, for Toritaka, Kaizen not drawing a unit off the top is helpful.
Yes, but I mean, the thing is, I believe Kaizen still has lethal on open next turn.
Mm-hmm.
Because Toritaka doesn't... I mean, Toritaka's got to play the unit, but he doesn't have a... he can't go 3 wide. So, like, if a 2-power unit, and then you're... 1 power unit get through, and then the overwhelm. Not looking good.
And this, I mean, you could put your overwhelm unit out and commit the whirling death.
Could do that. And it looks like that's what we're going for here.
Oh,
We're gonna do this
single
to just kill the same unit as well. That makes sense. Honestly, it makes sense because now we don't have to worry about. Now we get to keep our overwhelm unit and get rid of a blocker.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, Kaizen's at 20. He's not really caring much about his health total right now from this. And
But even if so, now I think we're going to see the whirling death onto the second unit.
Yep. So now even so I will say Vengeance would save Turutaka next turn because Vengeance would save Turutaka because there isn't enough damage without the fourth overwhelm unit to kill.
Mm-hmm.
There's only 6 damage on board. Burst speed Mistwraith can block some of this damage, but not enough.
That's a big LeBlanc.
Yeah, but Kaizen recognizing that if Kaizen does play that LeBlanc, it's actually a way he would not win the game.
Mm-hmm. Because of the Skitterer.
Yeah, because then he gets the Skitterer and then also play the
and it's Xaxes.
Exact lethal there for Kaizen, and he takes it back 1-1. We're getting the game 3 here. We get to see Akshan Varus get its redemption arc here, maybe against Fearsomes. I don't think he'll get as explosive a start as he did with the Overwhelms deck, getting Bird into Dog into a 6-5 on turn 3. We'll have to see if he can pull off something.
There could get Akshan into Glaive, which is also pretty good. I will say without the lifesteal, Akshan, Keeper of the Box. You know what?
And also, Turutaka does not have a Mistwraith in hand currently, although he did mulligan, and he's got a 4-mana Mistwraith. Oh, there's a Vengeance.
I think that this is a I think that the card that I'd be taking here is that Momentous Choice.
I believe that is what Kaizen picked. So, yep, and it was. We see an Iron Conquest that might come down here. They can play it now, copy your Mistwraith next turn without having to give over Prio. Yep, that's what we're gonna see. Get the Akshan here. Probably gonna see a Glaive come down here.
Yeah, and this Akshan can quickly become oppressive.
Yeah, especially if he gets the Spell Shield, then suddenly this Vengeance is looking a lot worse. Although Turutaka did just draw a Soul Cleave here. I think that might completely change the math now, because now you could go Wraithcaller into Soul Cleave and just get a massive board instantly.
Now, it would be... There are 2 copies of Targon cards that could make it miss. I do like targeting the other unit here to create a fearsome blocker.
Yep. Yeah, I think that's pretty good. But now we're gonna see we did hit, and Aizen is just said, I do not have a unit. I do not have a strike spell here. Go ahead and go 5 wide here on me.
Mm-hmm. God.
Casual 20 damage on turn 4, by the way.
Yeah.
On the bright side, he does kill all the real units here.
Mm-hmm. I think he's going to have to commit the Momentous Choice. Now, this will also, the level up will keep it out of range of Gloom as well, and he'll get an additional spell to cast with this Glaive hit.
Yes.
I think that Spell Shield is obviously the best thing that not quite it.
Yep. Yeah, we get Overwhelm here.
Overwhelm is also good. That's got to be a right negation.
Yes, it is.
Yeah, that's an easy...
And the nice thing here is we can also go Keeper of the Box. Yep. Oh, but we see a second Soul Cleave, so that Renegation is going to be coming in pretty handy next turn, I would say.
Mm-hmm. Now, if you're Kaizen, do you put... Now, I think you're going to want to put the glaive on that Keeper of the Box.
Maybe. I mean, I feel like for sure we're going to see a... oh yeah, we're going to see the glaive come down here. Another nice thing is that we can also... They're one spell away from getting the landmark flip next turn.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and also we got a response from the other set. Vendordi 2-0'd Ace. So
wow.
We're going to have Vendordi in the finals. Ace's aggro decks got toppled here, it seems like. So looks like we're going to have a new lineup to see in the finals here.
What a draw for ABG Kaizen, that Furious Wielder.
That is huge, because also we can play it from our lifesteal unit to gain 5 life, or Akshan to get a second horde going.
I mean, with the target, there is just a lot of stuff going here. I think that no matter what Torataka does here, it's gonna get a little spicy.
Yeah, and because I was gonna say it was either gonna be Wraithcaller into Soul Cleave, or we're gonna not even Soul Cleave at all. Instead, opt to put the Nocturne down. Oh, but we're gonna not go before combat to play our strike spell.
Interesting.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
So Nocturne's gonna level here.
So I think that what we're going to see here is ABG Kaizen using that Furious Wielder to kill one of these, to kill the 8-3. Oh, no.
He's I guess just kill saying, the like, Nocturne, hey, you have no real alive, giving it Spell Shield, and then giving it Overwhelm with the Absolver to win the game.
Oh, yeah, that just ends it.
Yeah, and we have two... Yeah, so I think he's going to look for Spell Shield first so he doesn't have to use it, and he can try to draw 2 instead. I think that's what we're doing here. Doesn't find it, so I think now he has to go for Spell Shield.
Mm-hmm. And with double set... Oh, yeah, that's just game. What a line. I missed it. Honest. Oh, he doesn't have to commit anything. He just swings. You're going to have to be the Burst Mist Wraith. Yeah. But it's not enough. This Absolver says... And with the natural overwhelm, too, just running you over. Yeah. That's game. What? Okay.
Wow. Kaizen found the line there to come out on top there, saving the Akshan, saying, I can OTK from this angle. And just like that, Kaizen showing the power of Akshan Varus and why we shouldn't doubt the deck based on its game 1 performance when it completely turned that around in game 3.
True. I'm going to say that's more the power of Akshan Glaive. Akshan Glaive, the best duo since both were released.
Yeah. You know, game one, no Akshan, no Akshan, Glaive dies to the Explorer and they lose. And then game 3, Akshan and Glaive, and they both live and never die the entire game. Pretty good.
Yeah, pretty good. Very strong. I mean, and that Keeper of the Box coming in clutch, allowing Kaizen to take that line so they would have the life total to be able to swing back with Akshan.
Yeah, and you know, because that deck has 0 burn out, you know, like he has no reach, you know that even if you're like 1 HP, you're perfectly safe to go for an open attack. It's not like the old versions that played Asho or anything like that. All right, and we're back. You get to see our lovely faces. We're going to get to see the finals between ABG Kaizen Veracity. I'm excited to see what these finals have in store, and I'm sure our players are excited to play against each other and see who's going to come out on top in the last tournament of this version of Standard before we get rotation this week. Any thoughts, Coach Schwartz? What do you think, Schwartz?
Oh, strike while the iron's hot. Let's go. I want to see those matches now. Show me them decks.
Yeah, but how about we go see the bracket so we can get, how about you see the bracket here so we can get a better understanding of the process we took to get here. Just go over to make sure, yes, and Doherty did 2-0 ace, and Kaizen actually 2-1 to Torotaka, but it says 2-0, so close. We'll fix it in post or something, but yes, Kaizen against Doherty will be the finals. So, Kaizen's been around before here. He's played in quite a few of these tournaments. He's done pretty well in them before. I don't know if I've heard of Doherty before. What about you, Schwartz?
You know what? I've heard of him now.
Exactly. Hey, that's all that matters. So, hey, congratulations to him for making it this far. We'll see if he can come out on top here and get the win here. That would be exciting. Not sure what decks he took to get here. I'll be interested to see that, because he's the only one left we haven't seen from in our finals. We do know that Kaizen's got packed in him as. We do know what Kaizen's got packed. So why don't we go to the decks and so we can take a look. All right, so we'll start by just reviewing Kaizen's list here. We can see the Auction Varus. We know that it can do really dumb things when it gets Auction and Glaive, but even if it doesn't get those two things, it still has some ways to stall with Unforgiving Cold. It has a few interaction spells with like Furious Wielder, and it has plenty of like pump spells and protection. And this deck can this also go from like 0 to 100 real fast, as we just saw.
Yeah, sometimes that big, if Akshan can just chip in, Varus can come in, swing for 20, and just close the game out right then.
Or hell, Akshan can even do it himself, as we just saw. There was not a single Varus played last game.
Yeah, it turns out Akshan's a good champion. Who'da thunk?
Who'da thunk, indeed. Let me go to the next deck, which would be our Overwhelms deck. We saw that do some pretty disgusting things last round with the bird into dog into 6/5 ballista. It turns out curving out is pretty good.
Yeah. I mean, there's a reason why there are so many of these Freljord decks running around. It's just so strong getting free stats. I mean,
almost every Freljord deck is playing bird into dog, and almost every Freljord deck is just able to go bigger than their opponents. And, those stats matter a lot. Like, Kaizen got exact lethal when he went and killed his opponent on that turn, so I'll have to see if this deck keeps pulling up the good stats.
Oh yeah, we'll see if that Buried in Ice makes an appearance.
We'll have to see. It very nice in Battle Fury stayed away last time. We'll have to see if it comes around next time. And then we also get Giotto Nila as our last deck. Depending on what we see, we might not be seeing this deck at all today. But yeah. Just draws a lot of cards, kill your opponent's stuff, then kill your opponent.
Honestly, I've got to say that I'm never upset with a player for making a ban on Jen and Nila. This deck is just so explosive sometimes, and it can just do silly things. You draw half your deck, you're going to have an answer.
Yeah, and even if you think that you've run your opponent out of resources, they can just drop an Exalted Cloudwider, and suddenly they're just drawing so many cards and getting right back into it. So, never really count them out. Well, enough talking about Kaizen's deck that we already saw last round. Let's get on to the new stuff that we don't know about. Let's see what Doherty got. And hey, you know what? Hey, speaking of stuff we've never seen before, oh my god, it's John Hanila.
Yeah, very, very similar list here. It looks like just shifting out one gacha, adding an Aftershock. Still has Rune Rex, but no Temple.
Yeah, I was gonna say, I think this is literally like -1 Temple +1 Aftershock. So, we have the Aftershock to answer that Temple. Although, I think it's probably more likely it's going at that opposing needle on turn 2, maybe. But hey, there is only one Aftershock to answer at opposing Temple. I'll have to see that matters.
Let's see who sees one of. And when you draw 30 cards, you're probably going to see them both.
Probably. All right, on to the next deck. We got PNZ Ionia. Is it going to be the return of Heimerdinger Victor? Let us see. It is. So no Temple this time. No Reggie's. He's not making an appearance this time. But we got the triple ballistic bot. I also forgot we weren't playing Clocklings, I don't think, last time. But we have all three of them here.
I like Clockling. Discount's good.
Discount's good. Plus, it's like a nice non-committal 4-drop, so in case your opponent's like saving a Vengeance for Victor, you can just say, all right, cool, I'm going to play an Augmented Clockling that you're not going to kill.
Yeah, I will say, like, just one argument that I have against playing Temple in Victor Heimer is the idea that it can take away your ability to get those elusive turrets off of your formulas. Sometimes, like we saw earlier, those elusive turrets are what can close the game out for you.
Yes, exactly. Like, discounting your stuff and getting more cards in your hand can be good, but Heimerdinger is one of the few cards that actually really cares about how much a card costs. And sometimes it's actually better for your cards to cost more. Like, going against Sowing Suppressor and playing a 6-mana Unworthy Soul can actually be a benefit for Heimerdinger. And that's, like, not true anywhere else, except for maybe Lux Jace, which I don't know. It's not like we're going to see a Lux Jace in this next deck that we're going to see or anything. Like, right, Schwartz?
Nah, it's not real.
Not real. Oh, hey, it's Lux Jace. All right, so.
Oh, I love this deck for one reason and one reason only: that defective swap bot.
Yeah. If are you having trouble with like a 15-15 Udyr staring you down? What if you just made him a 4/3 and had a 15-15 yourself?
Your 15-15? You mean our 15-15?
I mean, hey, that could definitely come in handy against the Overwhelms deck. If they roll a big Overwhelm unit, like, they have like we saw like a 6/5 Overwhelm, turning it down into a 4/3 and then getting a 6/5 yourself can be pretty helpful. But outside of that, standard, I would say like some pretty standard Demacia stuff. We get the 1 of Forge of Tomorrow to help us with our mana sometimes. We get 2 Albus Pharaohs as a way to win the game later on. Like, Albus can be hitting for a ton of damage later on with this deck, like especially if you're doubling spells with Jace or like getting a bunch of formulas in a row. So don't discount Albus Pharaoh's ability to just kill someone.
Oh, Albus, you're never like, you see him come down and you don't like really understand the threat until it swings and does 7 damage to you.
Yeah. I mean, I think I've lost a game where I was at 10 and they had 11 damage Albus Pharaohs that they played, and I didn't have an answer.
Your answer was top right.
Yeah, top right's a pretty good play in that case. But speaking of top right, it's time to go into the top of this finals here. We got Vendority and Kaizen. So I guess we can try to predict their bans again. Let's see if we're successful this time. What do you think ABG Kaizen's going to ban for Vendority's side, Schwartz?
Honestly, I think that I would ban Jananila. Or maybe the Heimer Victor. It's a tough call. Like, I think that Vendority actually brought a really strong lineup here. I just probably overly respect Jananila here.
Yeah, I mean, I personally would ban Heimer Victor because of the deck's ability to high roll, but Jananila doesn't sound like a bad ban either because it can just be as explosive as some of your decks and be hard to stop. So, well, let's see what Kaizen decides on. For Vendority's side, if I'm against Kaizen, I'm thinking I'm probably banning the Jananila because of how explosive that deck can be.
Yeah, I think it'd be a real problem for the Lux Jace deck, just them getting under you, burning you out, and just beating you beating you to death with value while you're waiting to get off your 1 or 2 6-cost spells.
Yeah, plus also that deck also has the most removal, hilariously enough, because of like how much like all the PNC spells they have, so it can actually take care of your champions and other cards. But yeah, also, I want to point out on the screen that Lux is the only level 2 champion art here, which I think is really funny.
That's that is, you know what, that is an interesting thing that you've pointed out there. A little favoritism, maybe in the production team, but Lux is great. Oh, okay, so we see the Jananila, and you know what? I see you dragging 2 for 2, calling the bans.
Yeah, Heimer Victor can just. People just don't want to play against Victor getting lifesteal, deathless, elusive, or something like that, and just winning the game. And
I mean, and the
completely
Ionia
understand.
tools are also very difficult for ABG Kaizen to deal with both his Overwhelm deck and Varus deck. Like, if they can Unworthy Soul or just bounce your champions, then...
Or heck, Blossoming Bud too can just take care.
There's
Can
just a
just
lot of answers that they have, and it's difficult when you only have a couple denies, and a couple ways to make spell shield, especially when those denies are so costly for you.
Yep. But we're gonna start off with Overwhelm versus Jananila. We're gonna see the Pool Shark coming down to block this Legion Zabos doesn't get too much value here. One damage pushed, but we'll have to see if that ephemeral card is gonna be really sad to lose. Ooh, Howling Gale might feel a bit bad to lose.
Yeah, I think we're gonna see double Master Lookout here.
Yep. Kaizen's not gonna like that too much because this 3/1 doesn't get to block these really well, and that does trade with them back. So I'm gonna see the Master Lookout here. Gonna push 4 damage already, and Kaizen doesn't really have a hand that's gonna be fast here.
No, not really.
This?
I mean, Saboteur, and probably going to look to trade units using the trade up using Sky Splitter.
Yep.
Although it just feels so bad. I think you just have to hold on to it here. You just accept that you're trading a unit, dealing a point of damage, saving that interaction for later.
Yep. I'll say these Ancient Yetis are getting cheaper, so we can survive long enough. Will Matt be really good? But
yeah, I think we're going to see that Razor. Yeah. Coming out
there
here.
There is the Eye of the Storm in hand.
Oh. No free blocks.
Yeah. So like even if Aizen played the Sky Splitter, Eye of the Storm could kill it because it's also going to turn on these Master Lookouts too, make them 3/2s.
Might see it just for the push the damage.
Yeah, it's either like you use that to push the damage. I mean, I guess if you're not playing your removal this turn, it might be that, but then you don't have access to double removal possibly next turn. Then you also get to draw 2 more cards, and 2 more cards is pretty good.
Yeah, I've heard that more cards is good.
Yep.
But also just taking the trade here and removing units, relatively for free.
Yep. Yeah. Fortunately, okay, I was gonna say, Kaizen really wants to double unit here, but because of how expensive these Ancient Yetis still are, it's not really possible to. But Dog is a great top deck here because now we can double unit here. Then Doherty can try to remove some of these, but
yeah, I think that Aftershock is going to be the answer.
Yeah, we do see it come down, but now we have a 5/5 and a 4/4, and only one of these can die to a potential Eye of the Storm here.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so we're gonna see it.
And there's the Neela.
Yeah, but the thing is, there's no follow up here, and yeah, we get to save it with a Sky Splitter. So Kaizen took a little bit slow at the start, but now his opponent's down to 7. We'll be down to 6 on upkeep, and then can't really afford to pay 3 mana for this if he wants to be able to keep putting up pressure.
Yeah, and these units are just not quite big enough.
Yeah, and Kaizen's gets the double unit here with the Ballista and the 5/5 Yeti, and Doherty does not have the removal in hand to deal with that.
Now, a little bit too slow of a start for this Jananila deck, giving the Overwhelm time, and now their units are so tall that Jananila really can't attack anymore. Could have some removal using the Howling Gale.
Yeah, I think we're gonna see a Howling Gale into Divine Whirlwind or something along those lines. But is that gonna be enough?
I mean, I don't know if there's an option. It's just kind of is what it is, right?
Yeah.
I imagine potentially sending away the Neela, just so that there's more card draw still in hand.
I think so. I think we're sitting. We're sitting with Anila, and then we're also getting ourselves mana so we can play this whatever it's called.
I don't know if I agree with swing with the.
So he's doing this so we can play the Eye of the Storm to trade. So I'm assuming is what we're gonna see here. Yep.
Oh, and it gets gets you another unit.
Yeah. Now the problem is that there's
going to 5 and they're swinging for 9.
Yeah,
and it's another double unit.
Yeah. Also, the question here is, does Kaizen want to double develop into attack? Or at least single develop into attack? Yeah.
Yeah, it's Doherty just passing it back.
Yeah, he doesn't have the answers that he needs there. So Kaizen takes game 1. He's going to be 1 game away from taking the whole thing. He's just got to pull it off with Akshan Varus. He's got to get the Akshan swinging glaive draw, or at least one of those two things early enough. Otherwise, he could just be too slow and get taken down by this John Anila or Jace Lux. Because unlike before, I don't think the freezes, like the double freeze for Akshan Varus, matters a ton against John Anila.
No, they just go too wide, and all of their units are doing small. They're going 6 wide.
It's a lot of chip damage. Like at most, it's like 3 power base. Like sure, if they commit like a Eye of the Storm, then it can help. But they can also just wait to play Eye of the Storm. We do see the Akshan drop here, so we do have that. We also see an Explorer on Kaizen's side, but there is no landmark here to worry about. That's not going to be a problem.
I imagine that, just be Anila.
Yep. I'm not gonna say they don't have the shape zone. Be fair, if Doherty actually blocks there, he just pulls so far ahead. It's not even. It's like actually wild.
I'm a big fan of sometimes, like with a valuable unit like that, calling the bluff and saying, "You've got to have it, or you just threw the game."
Yep.
Because this hand is not doing a lot otherwise.
Yeah. I will say Doherty has a few lines next turn. He could go for like Eye of the Storm into dropping his like his like 3/1 in the Exalted Cloudwander and keep drawing even more cards. Oh, we see the Varus come down here. Now the deck is online. But we do see a Howling Gale in hand. It could be potential for a way to kill a unit here. We can play enough spells, but there is double spell shield in hand. So let's see.
What do you value killing more here? Because I think
I would love to be able to kill the Varus here if I could, but I think trying to kill Varus here is not the most realistic thing.
Okay, maybe just go wide. I think that using Mystic Shots on the Varus or on the Akshan is not in line with the game plan.
Yeah. But we're gonna force the issue here.
Going for it now, saying like, "Hey, you'd better use your."
That's a die.
Said, okay. Saying that Absolver is too valuable.
Hey, which way to spiritual fulfillment?
Now things are going to get spicy. And I imagine see the Cloudwinder come down too.
I'll be in a little bit. I'll be good. All right. So, I mean, Doherty can just go so wide here.
Oh, absolutely. I think that you play the Cloudwinder, you take all the cards. They don't have any removal. You're open, looks strong.
Yeah, so like either, because obviously he's debating on, do I try to kill this Varus here, or do I just draw more cards? And he's gonna go with drawing more cards.
I like having more cards.
Oh, and we also get
and another Mariner.
Yeah, we get another Mariner, and we also get the Slipstream too, so we can draw even more cards. And we do see Keeper of the Box here. That's a pretty decent answer here. But there's like multiple.
They don't have any productive blocks.
Yeah, and there's also multiple removal spells in Doherty's hand. He wants to go for it.
I mean, I think you could just open swing and make life interesting, or you could slipstream and refill your mana. Like,
We're gonna go refill mana here, going even wider, and Kaizen doesn't have a lot of great options here. Oh, we're gonna
okay,
see the
saying you have
Howling
to
Gale.
commit the spell shield.
Yep.
Okay, there's one.
But now if you go Mystic Shot on top of it, that kills it even with the Absolver.
Yeah. And what a brutal hit.
Yeah, and there's like nothing Kaizen can do here. It's also a bunch of quick attack units.
I mean, you gain the 2 health, but you're in a sore spot.
Yeah, and I mean Vendori's just one burn spell away from lethal here. Oh, hey,
there it is.
Speaking of one burn spell away from lethal here,
Yep.
he finds it. And with that out of the way, we're down to the final game. It's gonna be John Anila, Lux Jace versus Akshan Varus, because John Anila just won the game. Yeah, that was the power of what that deck can do that it wasn't able to against the Overwhelms deck. So, can Lux Jace pull off the win for Vendorti, or does Kaizen show off the explosive potential of Akshan Varus yet again and take it home? We'll have to see.
I think the tail of the game is going to be if Vendorti can find their champions. I think that this is, an exceptionally champion-dependent deck. And having all that Rite of Negation, that first big spell coming out, is going to get hit pretty hard.
Yep. Ooh, but we see a Thermal Beam in Vendorti's hand that can kill the Akshan pretty easily on turn 2.
Mm-hmm.
If they go for it. And they're going to go for it. And I think we see the Thermal Beam just so we can beat a Shapestone.
Yeah. I mean, it's I think that's a safe play here.
Yeah, that's going to happen here. So now there's no Akshan in play. So this lane mark's going to go a lot slower. Plus, we get another hit in with this Forge Chief. So we're going to get even more mana generated. Oh, a second Rite of Negation shows up. Oh, but we do a second Forge Chief.
Hand is not quite it right now. For ABG Kaizen, just double freeze, double Rite of Negation. I mean,
Kaizen's got not much going on. Plus, when Vendorti's gonna, instead of saving the form up, instead he's gonna opt to play a card here. Ooh, Forgotten Artifact's actually pretty solid here.
Yeah,
you get the 5/2, then you give your board Challenger, which can be really good.
Insulates you from the deny as well.
Yeah. And you get to play your landmark, then you get to play your 2-drop next turn into that at burst speed. Seems pretty good.
Yeah. Yeah, and now the Jace is made an appearance, so one step closer to double spells.
Yes. And also, this freeze, we didn't play a weapon yet this game. We do find the glaive, so that'll be very helpful next turn. But because we haven't found a weapon yet, we don't actually have a good way to kill.
Only going to be one.
Yeah.
I mean, maybe that's just what you have to do, though. Here, you save your 3/3 from the 5/5, and take the 7 damage.
That doesn't feel great for sure. But I mean, it's like either that or Kaizen's playing Varus this turn.
Mm-hmm.
And Kaizen's gonna opt to play Varus instead.
I mean, I guess it's saying you need these freezes to be on, and you just can't give up the value.
Yep. Also, I will say, the double freeze is one of the best things to have against this. Jace.
Furious Wielder's great here.
Yeah, Furious Wielder saves his hand a lot, and Vendorti doesn't actually have any way to.
Oh, he skipped. Yeah, okay. Gets it again.
Does he take it this time, or does he take the Varus? He's gonna skip again. It looks like. Well, I think he's looking for Akshan. He doesn't find it either time. So the thing here is, for Vendorti, is that if He goes for the aftershock mystic. Yeah, he's gonna see. Look at the aftershock here. That's not gonna survive. Now he can't play the other weapon either.
Mm-hmm.
And now we get to see Jace come down.
Yeah, I think that having the strike spell in hand would have been. I mean, I understand that wanting to have a unit to play glaive is strong, but you need to have answers for these champions.
Yeah. Also, this is also casually lethal, by the way.
I mean, this makes a big difference here.
Yeah, but if we go form up on our Jace here,
could go form up on the Challenger. Yeah, not on the Jace, on the Inquisitor.
No, I think you do it on Jace, so you can push lethal with the Mystic Shot in hand. So now, it's like, yeah. So Kaizen's got to play both of his freezes in one turn.
Mm-hmm.
But now he doesn't have any mana left, and there's a Mystic Shot aftershock in hand that's going to go in and kill his Varus.
Yeah, thankfully for him, drawing the second Varus.
Yeah.
Although
also, Vendori will be left with absolutely nothing in hand if he does this line. But I mean, I think killing his Varus here probably correct, because then Kaizen has nothing in play. You know you're not dying to lethal.
I don't think you're going to get a better opportunity to kill it. You might as well just go now.
Yep, because that's what he's going to do here. I mean, it's also going to feel a bit. I mean, obviously he knows there's a second Varus in hand, but I think he's saying here is like, if he doesn't kill his Varus now, then he needs to like use the Varus spell to just kill your Jace right now.
Yeah, and honestly, with only 8 mana, I'm willing to bet. Oh,
hey,
I'm willing to bet that you can't kill me from 15 with an unleveled Varus and only 4 mana left to play spells.
Yeah. Also, I mean, Kaizen, I think Vidori's just going to play Jace's Shock Blast here, get it denied. Oh, not even going to do that.
Oh, you hate to see it. I mean, you have to get.
I mean, now you have to do. I think if you're Vendori, you just have to go for it now, right?
Yeah. There's no punish. Like, now's that ABG Kaizen's hand has got to be absolutely bricked.
I mean, also, like, there's no way to deny this. You're not doing anything else if you don't do this. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. You level your Jace, like it's.
Yeah. Now, also, if you play Jace spell next turn, it means that one unit is lethal, and you've seen 2 freezes, so it's very unlikely Kaizen can freeze another unit next turn. Well, Kaizen.
The other thing being that it forces out and it's going to force out a deny, and that's going to be at the cost of a mana gem for ABG Kaizen. Darius Wielder's pretty good, though.
Oh, we see the double 3/3, but yeah, so we're going to see deny here. And then I think we're going to see the second deny, too. When he plays the Jace. I think if you're in Doherty, you got to play the Jace spell and try to push lethal here.
Mm-hmm.
Well, the thing is, he can just go Furious Wielder on Jace, and then he's going to do that right now.
Mm-hmm.
I think Kaizen's got it now, because...
Wow, what a turnaround. I mean, just having nothing left in that.
Yeah, because, it gets quick attack. We have the pump spell in hand to keep your Varus alive.
I mean, and even just with the... and Tough's great here. I mean, gives you...
Yep. I think that'll do it, because now I'm pretty sure Kaizen's going to
get that glaive, Varus level.
Yep. Yeah, and then Absolver's going to do it. All right. Kaizen's going to take it here.
What a turn. What a great, honestly, making the decision to swap out the glaive so that you can actually level the Varus and threaten. What a great line taken by ABG Kaizen. Yeah. I mean, and having the tough, having it. I mean,
also having the presence of mind to use the second freeze after seeing the pump spell to say, okay, he's only doing this so he can try to burn me out. Just say, I don't want to risk losing the burn here.
Mm-hmm.
So now we just have to worry about. You have to worry about that. And even though we lost the first Varus, the second Varus got to survive. So then all this.
I mean, that's just like knowing how to play to your outs. What a great game. I mean,
Yeah.
and obviously, like, I think Vendorti took like good lines based on what they were presented with. The double deny, the deny and the furious wielder just showing up at the right time for ABG Kaizen.
Yeah. And we were talking about like how it was like, double deny, double freeze was looking a little bricky early on, but it turns out later in the game, hey, that was exactly what he needed. And deny is really good against the J spell. Like if that J spell resolved, there's nothing Kaizen can do to survive against
absolutely.
full board. So
just game over.
Yeah. I mean, also, like, Vendorti did run himself out of cards in his hand. If he'd drawn a formula instead, I think he would have loved that to, like, get more cards and get more options to potentially survive and threaten.
Absolutely.
Like, he could have, like, formulated and dropped a few units. That was his best line, but he did the best he could with what he got, and Kaizen took the good lines there, got the win, and now he is our champion of our monthly tournament. Congratulations to Kaizen.
Yeah. What a great tournament. Great top cut. Really enjoyed all of these games. And of course, always enjoy spending time casting with you, Dragon.
Thank you, Schwartz. I enjoy casting with you as well. I'd also like to make a huge shout out here to Aegis Esports for hosting this tournament. Shout out. Yeah, so my camera got stopped there for a second, but I think a huge shout out to Sports for hosting this tournament. We really appreciate all that they do for the scene. Really appreciate them hosting these things, and I had a great time casting today with Schwartz, and I hope these players had a good time playing today as well.
Yeah, absolutely, and really appreciate Aegis having us on, wanting us to be a part of this. It's always great seeing the innovation in the decks, and it'll be really spicy after this rotation. Really excited to see what people are able to brew up. Have some fresh takes, have a fresh meta, but once again, just really appreciative to everyone involved.
Yeah, I appreciate everyone as well, and hopefully we'll get to see some new things I haven't been seeing in a while come back in, and hopefully some things that have been here for a long time can take a break for a little bit.
Yep.
I think with that, that will do it today for our tourney. Thank you everyone who came in and watched us today for tuning in. We appreciate all the viewers here for Aegis Esports. We hope you enjoyed our tournament today. ACL championships just happened last weekend, and the Azirs ascended to take down the Lee Sin's Dragons there. So the ACL is done for the week. We do have the AL relegation final matchups next week. We're determining if we're going to be able to cast them or not. So stay tuned for that. Until then, thank you all for being here. We hope to see you all again soon. And thank you again to all of our players and Aegis Esports for hosting this wonderful tournament, and for all the players who played their hearts out today. And congratulations, everyone. I hope you all had a good time. Schwartz, anything you want to say?
Nah. Thanks, everyone, for coming out, and we'll see you next time.
All right. See you next time, everyone. Goodbye.